Afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across Texas once again this afternoon after a 5-star hailstorm in Austin yesterday. 5 out of 5 stars, so that is the highest that we can go. And before we get started here, I do want to just double check our audio, so making sure that you guys can hear us. I think you can, so that is perfect. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars for that storm in Austin yesterday. That is why everyone in Hail Trace is wearing green today. I am green from head to toe today because we got a 5-star hailstorm yesterday. But for today, we have another tornado threat that is now upgraded. So if you saw the storms yesterday, we have an upgraded tornado threat for today. Lubbock with the highest threat likely for out west. We could also throw in Midland to that threat as well. We have severe storms across Texas with all hazards possible. So that large hail threat for Midland, Abilene, and Lubbock with that high wind threat and tornado threat as well. The southeast also at risk here. So if you stretch all the way out to New Orleans, Jacksonville, Florida, up to the Carolinas, we have storms that are expected in those areas as well. So a lot of people in the path for storms today. Take a look at this storm risk anywhere from the western side of Texas all the way into southeastern New Mexico. Go to the east a little bit into Jacksonville, and then up to North Carolina. So we've got a lot of areas in that risk for today. Let's go to tomorrow. That's more of an East Coast risk here in Atlanta to Raleigh. Jacksonville also included in that risk. And then for Saturday, a very low risk, but this is the time of year that things could change very quickly. Hey, by the way, we have 2 different giveaways going on right now. The first giveaway ends at the end of this week. So tomorrow, we will be announcing the winner for our drone giveaway. We are so excited to give back to you guys who have helped Hail Trace succeed over the last 15 years. So if you want to enter, this is really your last day to enter. All you have to do is record a video or write a post about how Hail Trace has helped your company succeed. Tag us, tag Hail Trace on any of these platforms. Every platform that you enter on is another tag or another entry into the drawing. And also use the hashtag 15 years of Hail Trace. Again, that's hashtag 15 years of Hail Trace. We will be doing that drawing tomorrow on your noon show. Alrighty, as I mentioned yesterday, what a busy day yesterday. Not only for Texas, we saw a few storms farther out to the east as well, but really it was more of a Southern Plains Texas day for storms. Let us highlight at least one storm here, that Austin storm that was a 5-star hailstorm. It started farther up to the north, continuing to dive to the south. At one point we thought that this was going to go into Round Rock, but really took that southern dive directly into the northern and eastern side of Austin. Even after that, this is a pretty healthy storm. We had a really nice inflow notch there. We had a really good hail core as this continued to track to the south, actually weakening right outside of Austin, then intensifying as it was going through the city. It was a very impressive storm yesterday. So let's actually get a video of that storm as it passed through Cedar Park. Woohoo! Check out this video here. You can see a big wind gust come through. That tree is holding on there. Something that we saw from many pictures and videos that we saw on social media yesterday was a lot of these trees were just shredded by how many golf ball and ping pong ball size hailstones came through this area. We saw leaves on the ground and actually so much hail on the ground that people were taking out snow shovels to move the hail out of the way and continue their day, just to get out of their driveway. They had to take out snow shovels to move the hail out of the way. So one thing that you can see from this video as well is that we see that hail bouncing off of the fence and bouncing off of the bird feeder and the grill in the background there, indicating that we most likely had some decent hard hail in this area. Again, this is all reasons that we upgraded this from a 4 to a 5-star hailstorm. Just an absolutely impressive system that impacted a lot of people yesterday. Taking a look at southwest Kansas, still some hail in this area as well as we forecasted yesterday. And then the Oklahoma Panhandle, really, this came right into fruition from what we told you in the forecast yesterday. After we saw all of that hail in southwest Kansas, this storm congealed into a line of storms. And then it started to bow out, and we got some really high wind gusts across the northwestern side of Oklahoma. We saw 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts warned for Enid yesterday. A lot of people in the path for those storms. And now, before we get into the forecast here, I can see your comments on the side here. They can also pop up in the bottom of the screen, so put your comments in the comments section. We can see those on the side, so we appreciate you guys joining us this afternoon. Alrighty, moving on to your forecast right now, let's take a look at our current storms. Southern Oklahoma, right by the Red River, we've got a few storms going on right now. Clear for Dallas for the moment. However, we could see storms in Dallas later on today. I saw a severe thunderstorm warning pop up. Where was that at? Has that expired by now? It potentially has. We did have a few severe warned storms down in the Florida Panhandle earlier on this morning near Panama City area. We've got a lot of lightning out in this area as well, and maybe some very small hailstones. Nothing to be too terribly concerned about in this area for now. However, we could see some of those storms intensify later on today. All right, taking a look at your current conditions, as I mentioned, we've got showers and storms down in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. You go up farther to the north, and we're pretty quiet in this area, maybe a few clouds. There's those storms in southern Oklahoma crossing I-35 right now, and then maybe a few showers out in Denver and in Seattle and Washington. For the most part, we're pretty quiet out there, quieter than what we're going to be this afternoon and evening as those storms intensify, initiate, and go severe. We once again have a risk for large hail today. Current temperatures, 69 here in Oklahoma City, 77 down in Dallas. A lot warmer down to the south, but we have a pocket of cold air down in Alabama. That thanks to some of those storms that moved through this morning. Now let's get to your forecast. Let's start with the hail risk, and then we'll move on to the wind and tornado risk in that order. Let's talk about the hail risk. You can see anywhere from Denver all the way down to the Texas Panhandle into western Texas. We have a risk for hail today. This will be an area that we're watching for the largest hailstones. We know that, one, because of this model, and two, because of the setup that we have been presented with from our weather models here. But what I really want you to be watching for, just an easy, quick way to forecast this, is look for these oranges and reds in this model. That is where you're going to see the largest hailstones today. Ooh, we got some red in there. Okay, let's see that one more time. Let's go out to the east. Maybe some golf ball size hail, maybe some half-dollar size hail out to the east today, but I really think that those hail sizes are going to stay pretty small. Our attention for large hail is going to be out in Texas. So let's watch that one more time for our storms today. Got some red mixing in there, so we could see some large hail once again today in Texas. Not necessarily in the central, but more of the western side of the state. So what is our forecasted max hail size today? The largest that hail could get, softball or larger. I think we could absolutely see some large hailstones for today. Now, you know the drill here. That's not going to be every hailstone. Some of those are going to be smaller, like golf ball size hail, ping pongs. Maybe some even that pocket change hail. We call this the nickel, dime, penny, quarter hail sizes. Now, I think the most likely hail size that we could see today is very similar to yesterday, ping pong to golf ball size hail. And that goes anywhere from southern Oklahoma all the way into Dallas, San Antonio, Midland, and Lubbock, Texas. You go farther out to the east, I told you those hail sizes get a little bit smaller there. Let's zoom into this map, your official hail forecast map. Actually, I want to go back. I did not mention Colorado. I think that you guys are going to stay mostly dry and non-severe in Colorado today. Now, this is an area that will surprise you. However, we did not put a hail risk in Colorado today. We nailed that forecast yesterday, and I'm really hoping to see that again today. So no hail for Colorado, at least no severe hail today. All right, moving down to Texas now. Again, Lubbock and just to the south of Lubbock. So Lubbock kind of scrapes the northern edge of some of our largest hail sizes today. I put you guys at a level 2 on a scale of 5 risk for today. So again, that's a moderate risk, highlighted there in yellow. I think that we have a higher risk for storms as we go down into places like Midland, but at that point, storms start to clump together, and you'll see this from your radar, that storms will clump together and we'll have some lower hail sizes, but even then, what is lower? Golf balls? That's still pretty impressive. Okay, Dallas. don't get too excited yet. I know that you have a chance for golf balls today. However, I put you guys in that level 2 on a scale of 5 category. So level 2, highlighted there in yellow, it's a moderate risk for storms today. That is not a guarantee that you will get large hail today. That means that 2 out of every 5 times we see this setup, you'll get hail in this vicinity. So we'll see, maybe today could be one of those 2 times, but I wanted to explain that risk to you there. Oklahoma City, very, very similar setup. Most of these storms are going to be to the south of the city, closer to the southern side of Oklahoma, anywhere from Norman down to the south. We could once again see some large hail in this area. This is a pretty populated area. This is a pretty popular area for large hailstones. Now, if we move down to the south, going down to San Antonio? No, we're moving on. Okay, so let's move on to the wind forecast. Hey, San Antonio, if you want to see your hail risk zoomed in, I'll send that to you. Just put a comment in the forecast today, and we can comment back with a picture of that risk for San Antonio. Alrighty, moving on to your wind forecast here. Pretty low risk to see some high wind out in New Orleans, maybe a level 2 in Jacksonville and in Nashville today. Higher risk anywhere from Midland to San Antonio, especially as that storm starts to congeal into a line, and then we'll start to see it bow out with some higher wind in this area. We're talking maybe 65 to 70 miles an hour. Moving on to that tornado risk here, highlighted in green is a level 1 tornado risk, and then highlighted in brown, I think, will be that level 2 tornado risk. I'm going to actually skip over this. I'm going to get to that tornado risk. Okay, so highlighted in yellow will be that level 2 tornado risk. And again, that's anywhere from Lubbock to Midland. We're really focusing on the western side of Texas here. DFW, really the Fort Worth area, barely skims that level 1 side of that risk. San Antonio out of the tornado risk today, and so is Houston. If you move farther out to the east, anywhere from Arkansas to Tennessee, you have another level 1 risk today. That means a few isolated storms could get strong enough to produce a tornado. But it's not going to be a widespread outbreak. It'll be maybe 1, maybe 2 here and there. We've got another risk down in southern Florida, or the panhandle of Florida, and then out near the east coast from Georgia to South Carolina. So several areas today with that tornado risk. I mean, I would not call this a widespread outbreak by any means, but several areas could get a few tornadoes here and there. Let's talk about your timing. We are expecting storms to fire this afternoon. We were looking at our satellite earlier, seeing a lot of sunshine in this area. What is that sunshine going to do? It's going to heat the ground. And you know the drill here. Hot air rises. So you're going to see all of those particles rise, and that's going to really help to initiate storms later on today. This model has storms initiating right around 2 o'clock this afternoon in New Mexico, tracking to the east into places like Lubbock and San Angelo as we head into the evening hours. Then we'll see this, again, as I mentioned earlier, congeal into a line, start to bow out, and that's whenever you get that high wind threat. Anywhere from San Angelo down to the south, and maybe even in Dallas. Actually, Dallas, this model does not show it very well, but you could have 2 rounds of storms today. 1 in the late afternoon, the second right here in the late evening to overnight hours. So that second round is going to have a lower severe risk, but you're going to get a lot of rain. It's going to be loud as you're headed to bed. That first risk will be very isolated, but could have some large hailstones with it. Again, this will continue to track to the south into places like San Antonio and Houston through the overnight hours tonight and into early Friday morning. Let's take a look out to the east now at your future radar from Atlanta all the way down to Florida. Highway 10 just getting soaked today. We've got lots of rain stretching up into Georgia as well, and then off to the east coast as we head into the afternoon hours and evening hours tonight. Things start to die down as we head into the evening hours. Closer to sunset, your severe risk is just about over by this point. Alrighty, moving on to that significant hail model again tomorrow. You have another risk for storms. Let's take a look at that risk. Here's your risk for today. Here's your risk for tomorrow. Again, several areas across the country. We've got one out to the west. Another marginal risk for Chicago tomorrow. Gotta keep an eye on that one. But really the main risk is out on the East Coast for tomorrow, another risk for storms on Saturday. So we're at that time of the year that it just seems like day after day after day of storms. Maybe a storm out to the east today, maybe a storm out to the west tomorrow. That's what it seems like. But don't get complacent, because we have another round of storms that we're expecting next week to keep us in this very active trend. And how we know that is we look into the future upper jet stream. So what that means is our models are saying, here's the jet stream. What does this tell us? What we're looking for here is we're looking for these blues, and we're really looking for that to transfer into maybe a red or an orange in this trough. So what this is you'll see dips in the jet stream. We call these troughs. And there's your storms, right? There's your storms tomorrow out on the East Coast. But what we see as we head into the middle of next week is we have several troughs moving into the plains that is going to keep this very, very active pattern to continue into the very beginning of June. What does this mean? We still have that tornado, hail, and wind risk into the middle of next week, right there. We've got another one coming up our way in the end of next week. So the very beginning of June could be a very, very active pattern for us, and I want you guys to be weather aware of that. Don't get complacent. Make sure you're watching the forecast every single day. All right, there's my TED Talk, and there's your forecast. Hey, just a quick update on your temperatures. We are a little bit cooler, anywhere from Denver to Oklahoma City compared to this time yesterday. Cooler down to the south, I told you, because of those storms down there right now, and a little bit warmer off to the east. So enjoy that warm weather today. Don't forget about our giveaway. All you have to do for our giveaway is record a video or write a post about how Hailtrace has helped your company succeed. Whether that was over the last 15 years or 15 days, we want to hear from you. Post on any of these platforms. Today is the last day to be entered into this contest, and this is very important. This is how we see your post. Tag Hailtrace and use the hashtag 15 years of Hailtrace. That is 15 years of Hailtrace. All right, thanks for joining us today. Let's do a last check on questions. I see a lot of questions here. Jack is saying, soaked. Yeah, I said Highway 10 is soaked. I don't know if you're talking about another area of the country. Oh, Doug, great question, Doug. Will Chicago see hail in the near future? So your next risk for storms, and it's going to be a pretty low one. It's not a very high risk, but again, that's going to be tomorrow. Let's show your forecast here. Tomorrow you have a risk, and you can barely see it in the very top of our screen here in Chicago. It's a marginal risk. It's a level 1, but that was a great question. Thanks for asking about Chicago. Alrighty, any other questions that we can answer? I can see all of your questions, so I appreciate you guys asking. I think I've gotten most of those questions answered. So we appreciate you joining us today. Again, my name is meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we will give you a forecast every single weekday at noon. Follow us on all social media. So we have Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And if you are interested in a wind, hail, or tornado map, again, we have that Austin storm from yesterday mapped already. It is on hailtrace.com. Either head over to hailtrace.com or give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. All right, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here, same time, same place for your forecast tomorrow.